Hello and welcome to my bedroom inside of a Tibetan Buddhist meditation center in the Austrian Alps. What a eclectic introduction to this video. You probably clicked on this video because you've recognized that there's a cycle in your life and it might not be serving you. So I'll tell you one of mine. When I was 2 years old, my brother came home from the hospital and he didn't come home so well. He had a lot of health issues when he came home. It was really difficult on my family. Like the second born is really sick and needs constant care, constant attention. And what happened to me as a 2-year-old was I experienced an abandonment wound that took place inside of sort of losing my mom's attention and affection and time and care and energy to my brother. Now that happens to a lot of people, but in my case, not that it's any different or special, but in my case, my brother was extremely high maintenance because they were trying to keep him alive. You know, he actually did die in birth and then they brought him back through this invasive surgery, and I won't go into any more details than that because it's his life and his story, but nonetheless, you get the idea. My brother came home and he was a lot of work for my parents, and I lost my mom's. I was no longer the only child. Lost my mom's attention and affection. And this created an abandonment wound, energetically sort of imprinted onto me, psychologically imprinted onto me, something that I would then go on to repeat again and again throughout my life, creating a cycle. I've been in 3 major relationships, maybe 5 or 6 major relationships. Sorry, I've had maybe 5 or 6 relationships, but I've been in 3 of those that lasted like a long time. I'm in my 4th now. And the first 3 were all at least a year. I think the shortest was 1.5 years, the longest was 8 years. And they all ended the same way, all of them. They all ended as my partner leaving me for somebody else. And in the case of all 3, I'll just be completely transparent. Despite how difficult this is to speak about, all those partners found somebody else while still with me. You can fill in the blanks on how you want to title or categorize that experience, but nonetheless, something was taking place. My first partner finds somebody while with me. One time, okay, it happens. My second partner does it. My second partner did it the exact same way my first partner did it. Both of them had never committed that act before. Committed, like they're guilty of something, whatever. Ancient history, honestly. My third partner does it. I think we have a cycle on our hands. It's like fool me once, fool me twice, fool me 3 times. You know. So that's the cycle. I hope that I've broken that cycle. I think I have. That's why I'm making this video. And it's to say the 3 steps to break any cycle. So the first thing we have to do is we have to realize that we're in a cycle. So in the case of my example, by the 3rd girlfriend cheating on me and leaving, and all 3 against cheating had never cheated, but then something with me changed. There was a click that sort of triggered, or a karmic something, bump in the road, hiccup that sort of triggered that person to do something that they never thought they were going to do, and then they did it with me. Strange, right? Cause for question. So look at your life. Where are there cycles? What patterns do you see repeating again and again and again? There is even the chance that, and this has come up in sessions with my clients, I am a life coach if you're new here. With my clients, sometimes I hear, all women are this way, or you just don't, go to these places, or you don't associate with those types of people, and like, maybe not, maybe it's something to do with you, like how many times is somebody gonna say something about you to somebody else before you realize, maybe there's some truth in this. So how many times have you had an experience that it's become a familiar cycle? It's become something that you've sort of hardened into reality and said, this is me, or this is the way it is. I had it 3 times with this major catastrophic sort of being left. Now, how does that have to do with my mom? When I was 2 years old, when you're born, your parents are like, as a man, my mom is my first sort of romantic partner that fills that role. Like oftentimes we end up marrying women or men based on your orientation who remind you of your parents. So common, right? My mom leaves me at 2. She cheats on me for another man, right? For my brother. And then that imprint, that cycle, that pattern, I just keep seeing again and again and again until I break it. I didn't have knowing about my mom, thinking about my mom, realizing that it has something to do with this abandonment wound, realizing it has any of that. I didn't have any of that until I've recognized first there's a pattern here, something's got to change. And it's obviously to do with me because I can't say that all the women out there are just cheaters. That's heavy even saying that. Because I love all my exes, like love, you know, love is like, I appreciate that time together. And I'm sorry that things ended the way they ended. And I'm also not trying to make this video to blame or put responsibility on anyone, but actually myself, because as I'm saying, this is a cycle of mine. This is an imprint that was to do with my early childhood experience, not to do with them. I don't really care about their stories or their journeys. I can't take responsibility for their actions. I can only take responsibility for myself. And inside of this cycle and viewing this pattern, I think it's time I take responsibility for that. Now, that's step one. Realize there's a cycle going on. Step two, break the cycle. So recently I was in a position where I saw the early signs happening again. Inside of all three of those prior experiences where somebody left me, I would start to fall apart prior to them leaving me. And yeah, there's a bunch of psychology there, you know? But I saw myself inside of a recent situation start to abandon myself. And this time, instead of being the victim in that situation, I broke the cycle. I did something different than what had happened and what had transpired every time prior. I did something radically different. Break the cycle. Do something different. Even if it's scary to do something different, just break the cycle. Like, stop something that has been repeating from repeating and see where we can go from there. And then step number three, close the cycle by bringing awareness to where the pattern started. So when I broke the cycle, it was after breaking the cycle. It was after changing my behavior. It was after changing the pattern consciously, because I brought a little bit of awareness to see this is my responsibility. I have to do something differently or I'm gonna get the exact same outcome again. So I did something differently. I took a stab in the dark and I did something differently. And what I did, I'm not stoked on either, but it was my first time doing something other than what had been the entire time happening. So it might not be easy to break the cycle. And when you break the cycle, it might make for a total mess. But inside of that total mess, you're going to be able to see where the cycle originated. And how do you do that? Well, I did that within a conversation with a friend and a meditation, and it came through and I was able to see it. Maybe you have a psychologist, maybe you have a life coach, maybe you have family or support through friends. Maybe you can journal to bring awareness to when you broke the cycle. What's going to come screaming through is where the cycle originated. And once you bring awareness to where the cycle originated, now you have a very strong chance of that cycle not repeating again, because the awareness and the lesson may have been learned inside of that cycle. And we can transcend this loop that's been ongoing throughout your life. So those are the three steps. The first one is going to be realize there is a cycle. And that takes some radical responsibility, to take responsibility at the level of there's a cycle here. And I think I'm actually the one at the root cause of this. Reality is not happening to you, it's happening for you. Realize that you're at the center of this and something's going on that you can take responsibility for. Step number two, break the cycle by making a different decision. Make a different decision this time. Even if it makes a mess, even if you have no idea what you're doing or no clue, or it's terrifying or scary or a complete experiment, just make a different decision. Break the cycle. Like, make that energy flow in a different way for the first time. And inside of that, once that happens, whatever the aftermath is, do the reflection, dive into the inner sense of self through meditation, or work with somebody if you have somebody in your life who can support you through that, and realize where the cycle began, and you will transcend it and the lessons will be within it. And it all comes from breaking that cycle. So that's it. Realize, break, and reflect. Realize, break, reflect. The three steps to breaking a toxic, difficult cycle in your life. Now, toxic is a label. Everything is to teach us. It's up to you to view these things however you want to and however it serves you. If you enjoyed this video, let me know. Like, comment, subscribe if you're new. If you'd like to book a one-on-one session with me, the first call is completely free. You can do so down in the description below. You can also check out my Patreon and get access to my Discord, where we can chat via text or even voice. If you'd like to look into any of that, that's all down below. Thank you for watching this video. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.